This is going to be a tutorial on the Survey 123 for ArcGIS application. This is an application that we're going to be using to complete surveys for apparatus, daily checks, SCBA daily checks, and we're currently using it for the COVID-19 surveys. So we were planning on rolling this out in the coming weeks for apparatus and SCBA daily checks, which we're going to start using this software instead of Target Solutions to do those. Unfortunately, we weren't able to train everybody prior to the COVID-19 survey because this kind of came up unexpectedly and we needed to get this out here quickly. So fortunately, it's not a difficult software to use. It's fairly easy to navigate. You can download Survey 123 on any mobile device for free. You can download it on Apple, Android, or Windows devices, and you can also download it on Apple or PC desktops. Once it's downloaded and you open it for the first time, you'll always get this unable to connect error. Just ignore that, click OK. For the first time, when you open the application, you'll have to sign in. It usually will save your sign-in information so you don't have to do this every time you sign in. But for the first time, you'll have to put in your username and password and click on sign in. And for the first time, you'll have nothing downloaded onto your device, so you'll have no surveys there. You'll need to download a survey. So to do that, click on Get Surveys. And you're going to see the surveys that are available for you to download to the device. You probably won't see this manual COVID-19 survey. You'll just see the Fire COVID-19 survey. To download a survey, you click on this cloud with a down arrow, and this surveys download very quickly. And now you can see the little refresh icon. That means the survey is already downloaded onto your device. So if you click on the survey here, you can't open it. This is for downloading the surveys. So click back, and this takes you to your surveys page, the My Surveys page. This is the page that will have all of the surveys that you have downloaded to your device that you can fill out. So to fill out to fill out a survey, you click on it, and then you'll click on the button bar here, Collect, and your survey will come up. So the date and or date time will automatically populate to the current date and time that's on the device you're using. Then you'll fill out the survey, select your workplace. So if say for example we signed in with Engine 21, you're going to put the workplace that you're actually working at that day, not necessarily where the account that you used was that you logged into the survey with. So we have all of the fire stations here, and we also have Fire Training Academy, Safety Dispatch, Fire Headquarters, and then if EMS needed to fill these out, we added EMS information in there as well. So I'll select Headquarters. I'm at Headquarters right now. And you'll notice that some of these questions in this survey and the other surveys as well, when you give a certain answer, it's going to ask for more information. So if you say you did take your temperature, it's going to ask you what your temperature readings were. So we'll select 98.6. And then also in other surveys, we have explanations for some of the questions built into the question. So for example here, have you had a low risk exposure in the last 14 days? If you want to get an explanation on that, or for other questions, if you want to see the procedures, you click on the information button. So for this one, it's view low risk exposure definition. When you click on that, the information will come up below. The reason we do that is to not make the survey really long and difficult to navigate. So when you click on that, you can read through what the definition of a low risk exposure is, and then you can unclick that to make that text go away. And then you can click on your yes or no. So if you click on yes for this one, again another box is going to pop up. It wants to know the date or a date range, and also the description of the contact. So it's important, we definitely need the description of the contact. So if you're saying that you had a low risk exposure, we want to understand what kind of exposure that was. It's important that we get good information in these surveys so that we can make decisions based on good, accurate information. For example, we've had members putting in a low risk exposure as coming into contact with a patient that they believe has COVID-19 based on their symptoms. So according to CDC guidelines in our survey here, that's not an exposure. An exposure, whether low, medium, or high risk, is only when you're dealing with somebody that has been diagnosed positive with COVID-19, that you're directly dealing with them. So if, say, your spouse came into contact with somebody who was diagnosed positive with COVID-19, and then you came into contact with your spouse, that's not, by CDC guidelines, that's not an exposure. Um, so we want to make sure we're putting accurate information in here. So we'll put no for all these that we were not exposed, and continue and complete filling the survey out. And then we have a spot here where you can put suggestions or recommendations or ideas that you have about how to better collect this information, or any other things that are needed, any recommendations. So we look at these and we keep a tally of how many times the same thing was requested, and we do the best we can to accommodate those. So once you're finished filling out the survey, you'll click on this little check icon down here, and then you'll get the survey completed dialog box. So here you can either send later, you can send now, or you can continue the survey. So if you accidentally click that check mark and you want to go back to your survey, you just click continue survey and you're right back in it. If you didn't finish the survey, or maybe you finished it but you're not ready to submit it yet, maybe you get a run, you can click send later and it will save that survey in your outbox. And then later, when you come back to it and you're ready to look at it, review it again, or submit it, you click on your outbox and click on that survey. And it's going to ask, do you want to continue and edit this survey? You'll say yes. And then you're right back in your survey with all that information you already entered. When you're ready to submit the survey and send it, you'll click on send now, and it's going to send that information in that survey and submit it. So once you've submitted a survey, or at least one survey, you'll get this button bar that has your sent surveys. If you click on that, it will show you a list of all the surveys that you've previously sent from that device, and it's from that device only. So now that we sent one, we do have one survey in our sent box here. Where that comes in useful is if, say I sent a survey in the morning, and maybe at lunchtime I feel like I'm getting a temperature, and I take my temperature and it's a little elevated. So I want to go back into the survey that I already sent and I want to edit it. So I'll click on that survey and I'm going to click on edit and resend survey. So to edit it, it's going to open it back up on my device, and I'm going to make the changes, and then I'm going to resend it. So say my temperature now is 99.5. So I'm going to go back and change my temperature. And you'll see a little pencil here that's letting you know that you're editing a survey that was already sent. So now that I've finished editing that survey, I click on the send button and I can send now. And all it's gonna do now is it's gonna update that information that was already sent. It's not resending a complete survey. That's why you still only see one survey here. So if you just need to edit the survey, that's the way you do it. Now say it's your next shift, and everything, you're going to submit a new survey for that day, and you know that most of your information is going to be the same. So a way to not have to enter all that information again is to go to your sent box, click on that survey that you want to collect that information from, and then you're going to click on copy the sent data to a new survey. Alright, and that's going to open up a new survey with the new date in it. Verify that the date is correct and that the time is correct. If it's not, you can just click on it and re-enter your date and time information. Excuse me. And then go through the survey, make sure all the information is still the same. Maybe, okay, I don't have that elevated temperature anymore. Maybe I'm back to 98.6. But nothing else changed. I'll go through and see that all my information is the same. And I'm going to go ahead and send that. And then you'll see now that I have two surveys because I sent a new survey. So that's how you can use the sent surveys button bar or sent surveys box to make things go a little quicker for you. So the last two things we want to talk about are refreshing a survey and deleting and reinstalling a survey. So if a survey gets updated and it's a minor update to it, you can just refresh the survey. In that case, you'll be notified that all members need to refresh the Fire COVID-19 survey. In order to refresh the survey, you're going to go back to the place where you downloaded the survey. So you'll go to the menu button here from your My Surveys page and click on Download Surveys, and you're going to click on the refresh button to refresh the survey, and it'll quickly refresh the survey to be the most current survey, and that's it. You're done. You can go back to your page, and now you have the most current survey there. If you're told that you need to delete the survey and re-download it, then you have to actually go to that survey. So you're going to click on the survey, and from that survey's page, you're going to click on the menu button here, and you're going to click on Delete Survey, and then you'll say yes. That will remove the survey and all of the surveys that you had in your sent box or in your out box. It'll delete everything. And then from there, you're going to click on Get Surveys. Or if you have other surveys here, say you have your apparatus and your SCBA surveys here, it won't say Get Surveys because you already have surveys in your My Surveys page. So from there, you're going to click on the menu bar and then Download Surveys, and you will re-download the survey that you deleted. And then click OK, and you'll see that it's back in your My Surveys page. And that's it. If you have any questions or any problems with this, you can either call ISU or you can send an email to the CFD ISU group email, and we'll get back to you very quickly. Thank you.